More than 60 new Republican lawmakers are headed to Washington, and $600 billion will be flying out of the Capitol over the next few months in the form of the Federal Reserve buying U.S. Treasuries. Courtney Donohoe has more from the New York Stock Exchange on how investors are reacting to these new realities.
Well, hey there, Pimm. Stocks finishing a slight bit higher with a bump from the Fed. And we heard about it for some time now, for 2 months now. But the plan officially in place, the Fed saying it's going to buy an additional $600 billion of treasuries through June. That would be about $75 billion a month. The central bank also retaining its pledge to keep interest rates lower for an extended period. The Fed trying to boost growth to try to bring the unemployment rate down. But stocks finishing a bit higher. Some of the guys here telling me that we didn't get more of a pop because the Fed delivered in line with expectations. Some economists are concerned that the stimulus is not going to do anything, or on the other side of the coin, fuel an asset bubble. Well, I was talking to someone earlier today, and they said the question right now is, what kind of path are we on? Do we see higher rates ahead? And what if it doesn't work? How are we going to unwind this? But now that the Fed and the elections, that both of them have been checked off, the big focus on the floor right now is redirected to the jobs report coming out this Friday, Pimm.
Now, Courtney, was there a specific election winner or loser that moved the markets more than others?
Well, one of those things when we looked at the election results and the focus this morning with the Republicans gaining at least 60 House seats across the country, the lack of jobs, the concern about government spending, a lot of reason behind the change-up. And the Republicans now may be able to weaken or block the policies on health care, the environment, taxes, and financial reform. Bloomberg research analyst Allison Williams said the legislative stalemate is fine with financial companies, fine with investors. She said in general, investors just want gridlock so that the government will be less of a threat. Billionaire investor Ken Fisher said the S&P may rally as much as 16% in the next 6 months because the election is going to hold up legislative initiatives in Congress, Pimm.
Now, Courtney, take a look at those automobile sales numbers. They came out today. What was the biggest surprise out of Detroit?
Well, GM and Ford both reporting sales that topped estimates. They're saying October was the best month this year. Consumers, they're heading back into the showrooms. GM's deliveries rising 3.5%. Buick sales, that was a big driver there. But I also want to mention that GM saying it's going to raise as much as $10.6 billion in its IPO. GM offering 365 million shares, pricing the shares at $26 to $29. But going back to sales, Ford increasing 15%. Fusion sales gained 29%. The F-Series rose 24%. One analyst telling us that Ford's finally overcoming the perception gap and proving that their products are every bit as good as the Asian brands.
All right, I want to thank you very much. Courtney Donohoe reporting from the New York Stock Exchange.